Hello guys, and today I'm bringing you the first Clash Royale video in a while. Now this is another legendary deck. Obviously I've got a new legendary card since the last video, and I've moved up 2 arenas using this specific deck. Now the reason I'm saying this is the best log deck is because in my opinion it definitely is. I've played other log decks and I've beat those. I've played legendary decks with 4 or 5 legendaries. I've beat them. I don't even know how people are managing to get 4 or 5 legendaries, but I've played them and I've won, and this deck is just insane. It's got me up 2 arenas. And obviously, when I recorded this, I was on the verge of going down, but I am back up and I'm doing really well with Frozen Peak. Now, as you can see, I'm scrolling down. I've played quite a lot of games, and if you do pause it, you can see there's a lot of legendaries being played with. Now, this is a prime example of another log deck I have beat, and this guy had 3 legendaries. Now, he had the log, the princess, and the miner. Now, these are quite difficult things to counter. Obviously, the log can counter the princess, and the miner can be countered slightly by the log. But you can't counter another log. The log is something that you can't kill. It just rolls on and takes out anything sort of with a low health, and it damages everything else. Now, as you can see, I used a fireball and a log on that witch. Now, the reason I did this because the original fireball takes damage on the witch. It takes damage. It killed a princess, I think, and took out the 3 skeletons that she was using as well, and it put damage on the tower. Now, my log also put damage on the tower, so as you can see, their tower is slightly damaged, and that's due to the log hitting it and the fireball. So obviously it's not a positive elixir trade, but you are getting damage on the tower, so that benefits you. Therefore, using that 6 to take out that 5 doesn't matter. It's not a positive trade, but it's still a good trade. You're still getting damage on that tower. Now, the best way to use this deck is to put a giant forward, followed by a witch, and when they get to the tower, you're going to want to follow it up with a goblin barrel. And if you are combated by things like the witch and the princess, you just drop a log. Anything with low health, just drop a log down, it will take them all out, and it still hits their tower. If you put it at the back of the bridge, it will hit their tower, therefore you're still getting damage off and you're still doing quite well. Now, as you can see, I've also got the mini P.E.K.K.A. in this deck. Now, this card can be used very defensively, and it can always be used offensively too. Now, offensively, you're going to put it behind the giant or behind the witch. It will, so for example, the witch will put down her 3 skeletons, the towers are going to aim for the skeletons, you put down your P.E.K.K.A., the P.E.K.K.A. hits the tower maybe 3 or 4 times, and they've taken out maybe 1,000, maybe over 1,000 damage on that tower. Now, as you can see, it's very easy to use this deck, and it's quite simple. Now, all I have to say is you probably, in the higher arenas like the one I'm in, level 9 for spear goblins, I've got a level 4 goblin barrel, and I've got a level 7 mini P.E.K.K.A. Now, you don't have to have these levels, you can have maybe 1 or 2 lower, but you're just going to want to use it as well as you can. Now, another card which is very influential in this deck is the, I'm forgetting its name, the Inferno Tower. And that is probably one of the best cards in the game at the moment. Now, the way you use an Inferno Tower is definitely as a defense. Now, this defense is pretty simple. All you're going to want to do is, giants coming at you, or hogs coming at you, you drop down the Inferno Tower, and they will go for that rather than your towers. Now, another thing I'd like to say about this deck is when you are using the log, when something like a Sparky comes at you, a Dark Prince or a normal Prince, they're going to be, they get up their charge, and then they absolutely destroy towers so easily. What you're going to want to do to combat these sort of characters, you drop a log, and it takes away the charge from a Sparky, it takes away the charge from both knights, and it works really well. So what I do in that situation, you drop a log, then you drop maybe spear goblins, so they can pretty easily take out a knight once it's got no charge and it's already been damaged by the log. So these are simple things you can do with quite a good deck, and I think all of the cards available in this deck, as I'm about to show you now, they're all available from Arena 6 and below. Now, obviously, I know not everyone's going to get a legendary card, and even when you do, you're not guaranteed a log. So if you don't have the log, and you do want to still use this deck, what you can do is substitute out the log for maybe a bomber, or something like that, because that bomber takes out those smaller infantry troops. For example, you get 3 spear goblins, bomber takes them out. You get 3 spear goblins, the log takes them out. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below. If you are new around here, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.